What's up, YouTube? Thanks for tuning in to Hognose One. So this is part 3 of the series, How to Price for Shows. We're also covering in continuation some types of shoppers. This will just help you to be able to identify your customer base better as you begin to do shows. Maybe you've been doing shows for a while and you can see some of these things but have never known how to identify. But I hope that this video as a tutorial will help you as a seller at a show to identify and determine how to best cater the experience, cater the sale, cater the right people to the right snake for those that you're working with that choose to buy from you instead of your competition. So a loyal customer, we haven't talked about yet. A loyal customer is the easiest sale. They've gained your trust. They'll give you their money. They want to get certain products. They want to get certain purchases. Maybe they want t-shirts and just everything about you they really like. Maybe there's just a connection. And a lot of times you just have that. I had one of my friends, if I haven't mentioned earlier, that vends a lot of shows. And he said, initially, I was not the person to do shows. I was not an extrovert. I was an introvert. But as he began to do it more, he saw that he was more of an extrovert than he originally thought. So I think that there's even a personal development that goes into vending face-to-face as opposed to online or some other system like this. So number 3 is researchers. So the researcher shopper means they go behind the scenes. They're scrolling Morph Market just like I've taught you to do and finding medians. Maybe they're looking at punching in Morph Calculator. We'll talk about that another time. Utilizing the Morph Calculator to figure out what their morph may look like or what percentages they may get. So they're doing their homework. They'll swoop in for the kill like a hawk. So they'll go to the VIP. A lot of the shows have VIP badges that you can buy for $50 or $100. And you can go to the show early. I know Daytona Beach has the option for you to buy a table for $300 and never use that table. You can just go to the show early and walk around the tables on Friday night. And there are several that do that. That $300 just gets them in the door so they can go scout out every table and figure out the placement, the layout, so that when 10 o'clock comes in, they know exactly where they're going. It's like an estate sale. It's like, a big sale going on Black Friday where you need to know exactly the section you're at, where they place the items so that you can swoop in there for the kill. But a lot of times they will come knowing that if the quality matches the price, they're going to buy that animal on Friday night before the show even starts on Saturday morning. Some of your out of town, your export folks will do the same thing. So they tend to do pretty good. The last one is a bargain hunter. So the bargain hunter, really all they're doing is they want a hog nose. They may be indecisive about what morph they want, what gender. It may not even matter. The point that matters to them, they want the value. It's like shopping the value menu at a popular fast food restaurant. It doesn't matter what the other offerings are, how good or how healthy the options are. They just want to look at the dollar fry, the dollar burger, and the dollar shake and move on. It is imperative to them to get a good deal. Typically, they are fairly resourceful, and generally, they look at shows as a way to get a reduced price animal, typically on the second day of the show. A lot of shows are 2 days. Some are just 1 day, and this might apply to the last hour. A lot of vendors have mantras that they go around with and tell their friends and tell other vendors, well, I just don't want to go home with any animals because my wife will say, X, Y, Z. Or the wife will say, well, I don't want to come home with any because my husband will say, all right, how many more are you getting? How many more racks am I going to have to build for you now that you're not selling anything? So it is a valid argument, a valid stance, or a valid mantra to say that they don't want to go home with whatever they brought unless they're just doing it for display purposes. So in this situation, those that are price point shoppers can come in on the last day, and maybe all the good stuff has been picked over, but they love to haggle and negotiate with you. And some breeders offer 50% off of retail or the sticker price on a Sunday or the last hour of the show just to unload stuff. So you can get some really good deals on some really good stuff, especially if you hit up breeders that have a big inventory. So I know a lot of breeders that make a ton of money the last hour of a show because they're wheeling and dealing. They would rather leave with cash than mouths to go back home or go back to their facilities and feed, so they can definitely unload. So keep that in mind as a vendor, that you will have customers coming like that, and you can utilize that to sell lower value snakes to some of your customers. So the bad part about that is the bargain hunters, akin to the inspired shoppers, can be caught up in that experience of just getting a good deal and leave with animals that are subpar, either don't work into their projects well, it's just an extra mouth to feed. Like a friend of mine, he told me, I got 5 animals that have all these different genetics. They're all male and they're adult. And I'm like, cool, what you putting them with? Well, I don't have anything to put them with. They're just cool. And I said, all right, cool. That's neat that you got that. And he was like, yeah, it was the greatest deal in the world. So he was stuck on the fact that he got what he considered to be a good deal, but is it actually a good deal? It might be like a white elephant. If you're not familiar with where the term white elephant came from, in Southeast Asia, there were kings that would often gift these albino elephants to other kings, knowing that the more they gift, the more resources those animals would cost, because white elephant were revered to be some type of a sacred animal, and they could not be used in logging or other things. They were of no benefit to the other nations or other kingdoms, and they were actually a resource consumer. So sometimes we have to be careful as hognose buyers or even breeders that we just don't accumulate animals that are just mouths that we have to sit around and feed, because there is a cost involved in that. So just some considerations with that. I think that's going to be it for this final video here on pricing for shows. Hopefully some of those nuggets help you to be able to determine your competition, pricing, exposure, figuring out a medium value for a given morph, and being able to negotiate and haggle well, or just taking a stance where people go, hey, can you negotiate on this? You just say, not today, come back tomorrow, and I will be making swift deals. So those are some different strategies for making sales. Hope it's been a benefit to you. And as always, thanks for your like and subscription, and catch you on the flip side.